Welcome to onSodi.com.
In this video lesson, we will look at the three basic workflows for RAW processing in the Camera Raw workspace. Workflow refers to the set of procedures we go about in order to achieve a processed RAW file. Adobe Camera Raw, like all Adobe products, will offer to you a variety of different workflow options. I'll introduce the three workflow methods, with the third method being the best one. We strongly advise before any processing to set the Camera Raw preferences for best results. See our video lessons on setting the Camera Raw preferences. Once we have a RAW file open in the Camera Raw workspace, we can just simply click the default option. By clicking the default button and bringing everything into a zero status, we are now looking at the file as it was originally photographed. The first workflow method is to use the auto function. If you do no RAW processing to a file, at least click the auto button at minimum. On this file, we should reduce the exposure slider as the image is now too bright, and slide that back to 0. The auto settings bring up the warning icons in the histogram. This is not ideal. A second method is to process the RAW file using only the histogram warning signs to determine image quality and data. Let's now set the white point of the file by dragging the white slider to the right-hand side until we introduce the clipping warning sign on the histogram and then back it off. Then do the same with the black slider to set the black point of the image, sliding it to the left-hand side until we introduce the clipping warning sign and then back off the effect. I will reduce the exposure slider also and increase the contrast. And the third method, which is the most recommended option of all, is to set the image data via the threshold method. Of the three options, the threshold method is the most professional approach, but it takes some time and practice to learn, and it's well worth learning. We will not cover the full threshold method here, as it is extensively covered in our RAW processing video lessons, but we will show you the differences of the various workflows by using some saved snapshots. Prior to commencing this lesson, I saved some snapshots of the workflow approaches. I will cycle through those now to show you the differences. The first snapshot is with Camera Raw set to default and the image appears as it was photographed. The second snapshot is using the auto function with the exposure reduced. And this third snapshot is using the histogram clipping warnings only to set the image data. The final snapshot shows the threshold clipping method, which will always give us the best possible image data and pictorial control. I will cycle through these again. We will cover how to use snapshots in a later video lesson. In conclusion, using the threshold method to process your RAW files will give you the best possible quality and data that your camera can produce.